So we now have the center section of the speaker completely done, completely finished and so on. Again, this is probably not the way most people would do this, but I just wanted to make sure we had a good finish all around, including the places that you can't see when the speaker's done, just because, you know, again, I'm building it for myself. I just want to know that it's complete, do the best job I could do with it. So anyways, this section is ready. I have left the face sanded at this point because when I finish, when I do final coat on the outside of the speaker, I want everything just to blend together. So I've left that one ready for a final coat, but everything else is basically done. So now we're moving around to do the back section of the speaker. So basically to put the back on, and I've already started this a little bit, as you can see. So what I've done, basically I need to mark this up to get it ready to put the splitter in. This is the actual inside of the back right now. I've just got it turned around, and I'll explain why in a second. But basically what I've done is I've just mounted this piece here using clamps and marked, just put it in here, and then used a pencil to scribe where the deflectors are inside, just to make sure we got a good mark there. What I'll do now is mark this section dead center, and I'll cut the splitter accordingly. Now, the plans call for the splitter just to be cut square, you know, a square section in there. I'm gonna do a little better. I'm actually gonna cut the splitter to angle in here. I think it'll just make for a better transition once I put everything together, just a smoother transition inside. So I'm gonna be doing that. Now, the reason I've got this turned around the other way right now, so basically this will be the outside of the back when this is done, is I've also just wanted to scribe the deflectors onto the outside. And the reason for that is very simple, just for nailing marks. So when I nail the back through, I'll know exactly where to put my nails here without going through. And just thought this would be an easier way to do this, rather than just trying to measure it and potentially make a mistake that way. So everything is on here now, scribed, should be good to go. So now I just got to get the splitter prepared and get this ready to put on. I think I am going to apply again some finish this before I assemble it. Even though I can access it, I think it'll be just a little bit easier to do in advance. So I'll have a look at that and show you what I come up with. Here's a better look at what I was explaining in the previous shot. Basically, this is the inside, and I have trimmed the splitter to match the deflection, the 30-degree deflection. This is not super easy to do, I'm not gonna lie. Basically, and it's not 100% perfect, but it is better than, in my opinion anyways, it's better than just doing a, you know, straight across cut here. You know, you're gonna get a smoother transition here now with the deflector and obviously the sides of the horn. The plan itself, or the plan that I was referencing as well, calls to split or to drill this through the back of the panel. I didn't see any need to do that, so I used my pin nailer here, and just, you know, they're basically invisible. You see them right here, and just at an angle, they don't go through the back, and they hold it. It's glued from behind, and they hold it in place perfectly. When that glue dries, that's never coming off again. And so you can see here, I'm clear here of the deflectors. This will slide in perfectly. I may fill in the small gap before I'm finished with something, or I might not. We'll see how good it looks. I did test fit this onto the back of the speaker, and it's perfect. So so that's basically how I've done this, and I'll carry on and get the other one ready as well. So I've assembled the back portion, and just got everything assembled and glued and whatnot. So just want to give you a little peek inside here again, just to have a look at what I did. So again, by doing this work with the cabinet itself disassembled, I've been able to get a really good you know, finished product inside here. Inside the back, again, you're never going to see this, of course, but I know it's there, it's mine. I just want to make sure I did a good job with this piece. Is trying to design it to last forever. Also, you get a better look here at the splitter. Now that it's assembled, you can see that I've got a nice, you know, flush angle cut in there, and you can see that it just fits better as opposed to being straight down, which is what the original plan calls for. Just come around here to the front, you can kind of get a better look at it as well. You can just sort of see how, you know, again, it just conforms to the deflectors there a little bit better, and again, a nice finished product inside. So that's what it looks like. One other thing to show is after you've assembled the cabinet, or in my case here, you know, it's not going to fit exactly perfect in all likelihood, just again because of, you know, some inconsistencies in thickness of the material and so forth. And the easiest way to deal with that is just to use a flush trim bit here on your router, just to skim it off here perfectly, and that's what I've done here, and got a nice finished edge here along the bottom. All right, so I've attached one of the side pieces, and it looks like it should be easy, but it isn't, of course. You have to be super careful about getting everything lined up properly. So obviously I've got it on there now and clamped, but just give a couple of pointers on here of things to watch out for. So when you're lining up, you know, obviously this whole thing is what's going to bring your cabinet into square. And for the most part, the you know, bottom is going to be your sort of primary guide. However, this is really the most critical point right here, because this section here to line up, of course I've got this piece on here, so it's a bit harder to see, but you need to line up with the front of this panel, the edge of this panel. And the reason you got to line up here might not be super obvious, but this piece is not necessarily going to be, you know, perfectly vertical, even though you know, you try your best to do that. And of course, this is not movable. Once it's there, it's there. This piece can be, you know, moved slightly to line up at the top. So really, this point here and your bottom corner here are your primary alignment sections. But one thing to consider is you've got your height here, because your cap, your top has got to go on here and be flush. So you've got to be flush on the top here, aligned right here. You bring your face into square here and down here. And you shouldn't, but you may end up with you know, a slight misalignment here at the bottom. Now you're going to have to decide on your own cabinet, if you're choosing to build these, whether or not you just want to pry this, you know, the bottom section here to meet it, or whether or not, you know, if it's off by too much, you better have a look at stuff just to before you actually start nailing and gluing this thing, just to see where you're at alignment and decide what your course of action is going to be. You know, if it's very, very slight, you know, something to consider, you may again just have to make a decision to do some trimming, flush trimming or whatever. If it's significant, you better go back to the drawing board to see what exactly happened. It should be very, very, very close. And if you've done everything, you know, right up to this point, I don't think you'll be out by very much, if at all. And in my case here, I wasn't. It was pretty much bang on, which is what I had my fingers crossed for. But again, trying to get all of this stuff into alignment once the glue is on here, and this thing's a little slippery and everything, is not the easiest thing in the world. An extra set of hands wouldn't be a bad thing at this stage. I didn't have any extra hands, so I just had to kind of figure it out and line it up and glue and shoot. And anyways, it worked out okay in this one, but I got 3 more sides to go, so let's see. One other thing to keep in mind too, I probably overdid it on the glue when I glued this section, and so I ended up having, you know, a fair bit of overrun of the glue. Now, again, because I've already finished all this piece in here, it was quite easy to, you know, clean it up, and so that was one of the advantages of doing the pre-finishing on this before assembly. Now, I did go ahead and stain this particular piece. I'm not going to do that with the others. And the main reason I'm not going to is just I'm a little bit concerned about the glue adhesion. You know, you no matter how careful you are with the staining, you're going to get some bleed through and stuff like that. And so I was a little bit worried about the glue adhesion. And so I have decided to do the rest of the panels to stain and finish them after the fact. I hope I don't regret this decision, but that's what I've decided to do. So stay tuned. I guess we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I've got the sides all assembled, and the support piece across the rear of the cabinet. And so you can see now basically everything is put together and ready for you know, to be prepped and finished and so forth. The only piece, or actually I guess the only 2 pieces not on here at the moment are the top, and there's a reason for that, and the actual bottom covers. So the reason I've got the tops off at this point is I want to take the opportunity to lay out all of the electronics inside, to make sure I get it right. So you'll see when I get to the crossover sections and so on, they're quite substantial in size and so forth. So I want to make sure I lay them out properly beforehand, and get, you know, wherever the layout's going to be in here, put the screw holes, mounting points, all that sort of stuff in there beforehand, simply because it's going to be a heck of a lot easier to do that with this section open versus trying to reach in through the opening in the back and doing that. So it just makes sense to do that first, and then once I've got the layout all done, I'll just, you know, take everything out, do the covers, finish the outsides, and we're done. And so so this has come out quite well. You can see I've started to finish the remainder of this one inside. Again, using the satin black polyurethane stain combo product, and it, you know, does a pretty good job. I've got to do another coat or so in here yet, so you can see some sanding areas and that kind of stuff, just a couple of imperfections there, but basically that'll be done. This one I haven't finished yet. So not much, you know, sort of exciting trying to put these get these sides on and attached without doing damage to the finished section. It is, I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit of a hair-raising experience, and it wasn't completely without incident. I think it was on here. No, it wasn't this one. It was the other one. But anyways, where I had put a nail in and actually popped it out through the back. Thank God it was out through the back and not through into the finish section inside. So everything went really well. But just a note of caution again, if you choose to do a pair of these or something like this, and you finish that, you finish portions of it before the final construction, it's it's pretty dicey when you're trying to, especially if you're using an air nailer or anything like that. Just if you're off a little bit at all, or if you're using a nail that's too long, there is a little bit of a risk that if you're offline, you could pop it through on the side. So I was a little nervous as I was doing this section, but in the end, everything worked out really well, and I'm pretty happy with the result. Now they're essentially completed, and starting to look like the finished product. So all's good, and hopefully they'll start really looking like it once I get the final finish coats on here and stain and so forth.